Your truck's ready for the weekend? This Chevy Silverado takes ready to a whole new level. With a 5-inch BDS lift kit, 37-inch Nitto tyres, a 2,000 watt inverter, this build doesn't just promise adventure, it guarantees it. I'm Dean Bleasner, the co-founder of Big Dog Builds. We are the largest American truck workshop in Australia with over 500 builds under our belt. This one here is one of my favourite blacked out Chevys to date. Starting at the front end of this one, we've gone and installed the slick as bush wrap satin PPF over the entire truck. This is over the bushwhacker color-coded flares, all of the paintwork on the vehicle. We've got the off-road creative front bar there as well. This one here, a little bit different, non-hoop version, kept that front end really nice and clean. It has got the Stedi 30-inch light bar inside it for the little bit more lighting output. Stedi Cube LED lights there, as well as the carbon Scout off-road winch as well. Out the front end as well, to keep with that satin black theme, we've actually removed all of the painted items that are gloss black and we have blacked them out to satin clear coat. So satin black painted patch, match the satin film over the color code of the vehicle. The PPF's also gone over the color coded front bar as well. All of the badge work on the vehicle as well has been changed from gloss black to satin black. We've got a couple little bits still to do on it, but this one here is looking super clean in the front end. 5-inch BDS lift kit in this one, 2.5 remote-reservoir Fox shocks. And then for the wheel and tyre combination, we've gone for the Method 605 NV, 20x10 neg 24 fitment. These ones here, really nice option to fill out the flares. And then we've gone for the Nitto Ridge Grappler, 37 by 12.5 20. With the wheels and tyres as well, the Apex tyre valves, these things here make deflating a dream. If you buy the Apex gauge as well, while you're deflating these at a super fast rate, you can watch the gauge drop from 55 PSI down to 20 PSI in a matter of about 15 seconds. It definitely dumps a fair bit out of those little valves really quickly. So nice little neat option we're doing on most wheel and tyre combinations now. The tyre pressure sensors in the Chevy wheels sit on the back of them as well, so you don't lose any factory features by running these ones, and it really ties off. The Method 605s have also got the black lip bolts swapped out as well. Can't have a blacked out truck and leave the silver lip bolts on there. With the 5-inch BDS suspension kit, this is one of my favorite heights for the Chevy 2500s running 37s, unless you're going out to a 13.5-inch tire. We've got a few 38s starting to roll in as well, but the 5-inch lift 37s, my opinion, it's one of the best looking combinations for the Chevy. Obviously you need to be in the NB2 category as well to get these ones over the line. So NB2 category being the National Heavy Vehicle category. We've also done the GVM upgrade to 5,500 kilo in this truck. And we've also done the airbags at the rear end as well. So you've got your Boss triple bellow airbags at the back end, 5,500 kilo GVM. And then we've also engineered the fuel tank install, which you don't see on the truck from the outside. It's a 210 litre Titan replacement fuel tank. The replacement fuel tank sits in the factory location. You get that additional storage over 1,000 kilometres distance. Even running 37-inch tyres is pretty incredible. We've also got the Amp Research smart steps on there. These ones here, really nice, neat setup. If you wanted a little bit more protection up the sides, you can go for the XL series from Amp Research as well. But these ones here match this build perfectly. The mirrors come gloss black. We've done the satin paint on those ones as well. The door handles even got done. And then up the back here, as we swap around, you can see the little bed steps on the side. So swap them back to the US style bed steps. The rear end's quite simple, quite standard, because the Chevy 2500 comes really well kitted out with the leaf springs in the rear, unless you're going up for that full canopy weight on the back end. The standard leaf springs with the airbag helpers is going to be a best option. To control the airbags that we've got, the Boss triple bellow bags in this one here, we've also gone and installed the PolyAir wireless kit. That means that you can sit up the front seat of the vehicle, you can inflate, deflate those airbags depending on how much you want in the bags. You really want to dial the suspension in to be a combination of the leaf springs set right. The airbags there are only as an assist if you've got loads of gear in the back, or if you're towing a heavy load, you can inflate, deflate, probably anywhere from about 10 up to 50 PSI depending on the load. These Boss triple bellow airbags can go up to 160 PSI, but again, if you're running such high pressures like that, it's going to tell me that your setup's not dialed in perfectly. You definitely don't want to run too high pressures and put loads under the vehicle into the spots that shouldn't really have it. We've gone and installed the under-seat battery setup from Big Dog Builds. We've got the massive 200 amp lithium 2000 watt inverter. When we lift up the seat and a lot of the others, we've got the cover that goes on top of this one, but because we still are in the final stages of this build before quality control check, you can see the massive 2000 watt Enerdrive inverter tucked in there. Literally plug in your little power board or your power lead on the side. It's got your built-in RCD protection. Simply turn the inverter on here and you can monitor what voltage your battery is at, how much power is going through. With this setup here, we've got the DCS lithium 200 amp battery pack. So that one has an inbuilt Bluetooth monitoring system. You can see each cell on the battery, how much amps are coming out when you're using each accessory out of the battery as well. We've also gone and installed a Victron load protect for all the smaller loads. That one there's got inbuilt battery protect. So when the battery gets roughly about 20% or so, it's a little bit hard to get it spot on with lithium battery voltage, but with the load voltage disconnect there, it's going to turn off, allow the battery to still have its voltage in there. Won't go to sleep, and you can literally use that one until you've got all dinner cooked. BCDC from Enerdrive in there as well. 40 amp BCDC means that you're going to put a decent amount of charge back into the battery while you're driving. 200 amp lithium 2000 watt inverter pretty much powers any 240 volt appliance, whether that's coffee machines, whether it's hair straighteners, pretty much anything. Only one accessory at a time on the higher output sort of accessories. Whether you're running a little induction cooker, microwave even, you can yeah, definitely run the world off it. It's an amazing little setup there. If you're not wanting a canopy on the back of your vehicle, the under-seat battery setup for the Chev 1500, 2500s is definitely the pick to go for. If you're running a tray canopy combination, which is a lift-off or jack-off option, we can put Anderson plugs across the front end, meaning that when you're running just the tray on the back, you can throw a few fridges on the rear, plug them into the Anderson plugs, and keep those beers cold on the back. Pop the canopy on, use those Anderson plugs as a bit of a patch lead to run fridges inside full time, and you've still got your 240 volt requirements under there as well. So really universal setup, and really offers a range of outputs for whether you've got the tub, a tray on the back, pretty much anything. Speaking of tub, this one here is definitely the best looking rear end in a Chev 2500 I think I've seen. We've gone for the blacked out tail lights to match that blacked out theme. Literally everything has either been PPF'd, if not painted custom paintwork. So even down to the parking sensors have been removed, painted satin black instead of gloss black, because it is those little details that make the difference. We've got a Jenny Hitch combo to go on the back here, and we've also installed the grey and red Anderson outlets from the front batteries to the rear. So if you've got a DC-DC in the caravan, charge them through your grey. Red Anderson's direct feed to the front batteries as well. If you want to keep them topped up, you can run a little trickle charger or a solar blanket with its own controller through the Red Anderson plug. And then we've gone and installed the 2 Schrader valves for the airbags. If the poly-air setup didn't work, you can still inflate, deflate those airbags from the rear here. ARB air outlet there. The ARB twin compressor is tucked up nice and neatly under the back end. You've got your tyre inflation there. You've got your poly-air for your airbags. Power to the rear, power from the battery setup into the tub, and we've also got the GME UHF and the roll and lock tonneau cover on the rear. You've got power, you've got comms, you've got air inflation for your tyres, a blacked out Chevy 2500. We've even gone and vinyl wrapped the rear third brake light on the back here. I'll jump up on these small bed steps because we've removed the big ugly ones, and even satin blacked out that tail light. This one here, we do a pretty cool little setup there. Still keep the light if you do the factory light reconnect. Those ones there are quite handy to use for the rear, but having that one blacked out as well. Pretty damn close to the Satin PPF with a satin vinyl on that one. Oof, it's definitely hitting all of the right boxes for me, this one. Have you seen a better blacked out Chevy 2500? I think this one takes the cake. Click on the link in the description below, guys, if you want a blacked out Chevy 2500 just like this one here. If you've got the Ram and the Ford that you want blacked out as well, I'm definitely keen to see them come through the workshop. If you like this one, guys, check this big red one out here. If you want to see these things boogie on the beach, this one here is one to watch as well.